Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of the Madroit Podcast. I, of course, am Jordan Haynes alongside Winston Hofer. Win, what's up, man?
Hey man, Jay, how are you?
Living the dream, brother. Living the dream. So, Win, we're going to dive right in today, man. So, talking about kind of an old yet simple lesson that your parents probably taught you when you were growing up. And that is if you say you're going to do something, you better do it. It can be easy saying that you're going to get your homework done by a certain time at night. So you commit to getting that done and you do it. But this is also extremely important in business and in marketing. So today we're going to tackle honest marketing and how your consumer's perception of you ultimately affects your brand and your business. So why don't you give me a few of the things that come to mind on how this affects marketing?
Yeah, to start, when honest marketing is aligned with your service or product, it is awesome, right? Like the delivering of the service is great. People are happy with it because they knew what their expectations were and they were met. When they're not aligned, though, some common issues with companies, lack of transparency when delivering, right? So just not being upfront with certain hiccups that are common in delivering or producing something or the product itself. From a business standpoint, frustration with the time of executing because different expectations were set. So, say something's going to take a week and it takes three, people are going to be frustrated, right? On the consumer side, lack of understanding different expectations. Yes, it might be on them, but you as the company are responsible for setting those. Even if it's common knowledge, your consumer might not have that knowledge or have understanding. So to educate them is really important to set those expectations, which can be in the sales process set poorly, right? It's easy
Yeah,
to overhype something as far as how long it will take or how quick it is, right?
exactly. And that's why I think assuming nothing is one of the essential principles of honest marketing. So some ways to do that, right? Let's be transparent with what we're offering. Make it simple. Make it easily digestible. We've talked in previous episodes about reducing the friction. This is another great example. If you're honest and clear with your deliverable, everybody's going to know what that is. There's not going to be much guesswork. So, and then it's just about being consistent. So, can you deliver that same product, that service time after time after time? If you're cleaning air ducts and you say it's going to take X amount of time, let's make sure that it takes X amount of time. And then delivering that leads to good reviews, leads to repeat business, leads to referral. Those are all things that we want to see happen. And then be cohesive with the execution of that product and service, right? Just kind of doubling down on that last point and just making sure, even if you're in like a lawn care space, if you say that you're going to be there at a specific time, which, sorry, Win, I know this is a little bit of a sore subject, but if you say you're going to be there at a specific time, let's make sure that we're there delivering that service when we say we're going to, so that ultimately consumers happy with the product and service.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, a little bit of a sore subject. I think I'll get through it, but the lawn care company that worked with us, part of their pillars of their marketing are on time, punctual, do quality work. The quality work was there. It was quality, but it was a little over the top as far as educating. Like it was a little too much, right? But the delivery man, like showed up at 8 p.m. at night. It's dark out. Said he was going to be there at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So to show up then and then the second time show up like a week later than he said he would, and again at night, like we don't want people running in our yard 8 p.m. at night. It's really dark out. So it's just expectations were just set and they weren't met. It's not really
Yeah.
transparent because we win with them because part of their pillars of their brand and their marketing were punctual and communicating, which 0 for 2 on those.
Like I can get it. Like we're all busy and it hopefully his books are completely packed and that's great for him or her. And I look at that and I'm like, okay, that's cool for you, but at the same time, you got to communicate. If you're going to be late, if you ran into something, like you got to talk. Just showing up well past delivery date leads to nothing but frustration. And I think the flip side of that, right, is showing up when you say you're going to, delivering the service, delivering the results, ultimately leads to credibility. And all credibility does is compound on top of each other the more that you do it. So I think that kind of leads us into what are some good ways to kind of help build trust as in your product or in your service and making that deliverable happen. So when can you just give me some of the benefits of honest marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. And you alluded to some of these earlier. It helps build trust, right? You say you're going to do something and you do it. You're just building credibility and trust right there. When you do honest marketing, you're setting expectations and you're setting yourself up for success as the business to deliver on those in a uniform way that overall is going to lead to more customers, sets you up for referrals and repeat customers. It just builds a ton of credibility, right? Say it, do it. Words to live by, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one of the so this just kind of made me think of this as we were going through these topics is a story from my past, which comes from the agriculture industry, actually, where downtime cannot happen in the agriculture industry. That is potential for huge loss, especially when we factor in things like the weather and timing and making sure that you're able to get seed in the ground and harvest on time and stay on schedule, essentially. But also when we're talking about, okay, if I bring my equipment in for service, I need it back by X date. So there is no wiggle room. They need it then, or else the consequences could be immense. So one of the coolest examples that I have is working directly with like some of the service teams to say, hey, if we promise these things, is that feasible? Is that realistic? Can that happen? And working with them to have them say, heck no, you're crazy. There's no way. Or for them to be like, yep, that's totally doable. And even when the shops were completely full, their ability to shift things around is ultimately what made our company so successful. And the problem solving and obviously fixing the equipment, but then also coming up with these solutions to make sure that they had their equipment back in the fields when they needed it to carry out that harvest. Because if they didn't, the consequences were immense.
Yeah. I mean, that makes great sense. And mention it like just talking to them and making sure the marketing aligns with that. Like, what type of campaigns are you doing to set expectations for what was it, the servicing of their equipment?
Yeah, it was everything from email. We actually did direct mail too, which we actually found really impactful. But everything from direct mail, email campaigns were pretty intense. But then additionally, we would take out like some social ads and whatnot to make sure that we kind of slam that point home because we would drive a lot of traffic, especially as our audience transitioned from a kind of the original approach that we had from marketing, which was more that traditional approach, to a little bit more digital focus, getting people to reserve their spot online and making sure that we could try as best we could to put some guarantees in place so that we were able to eliminate some of that guesswork. But none of that would have been successful from a marketing standpoint if we wouldn't have been in alignment with the team that's actually carrying out the work. And that experience was so cool because you could see the impact that it had, not just for our business, but also for the clients as well. Like they had what they needed in place, and those people were going to do business with us year after year after year as a result of our ability to deliver on what we said.
That's so cool. Love it.
Yeah. So in the end, folks, your marketing has to be transparent. It has to be honest if you want it to build credibility, but also even just harping on the point of it has to be aligned with your business model, your pillars, your goals in order for it to truly be effective for you. So that's our time that we have for today. And always, if you have any questions at all or topics, suggestions that you want us to hit on, please head over to madroitmarketing.com/podcast. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.